Today's episode is brought to you by GetSkinnyOnline.com, your source of medically guided GLP-1 weight loss services online. You'll find popular peptides like semaglutide and tirzepatide in injectable, liquid, and pill forms to make your weight loss journey easy. Go to GetSkinnyOnline.com or check the show notes for the link. Now, here's your hosts.
So I want to start with a number that stopped me in my tracks. When people lose weight on a GLP-1 medication, one of these popular weight loss shots, somewhere between 25% and 40% of the weight they lose isn't fat at all. It's muscle.
Wait, up to 40%? That's not a rounding error. That's a serious chunk of what's coming off the scale.
It's huge. And here's the thing nobody tells you when you start one of these medications. The scale is going down, you feel great, your clothes fit better, and quietly, some of that lost weight is the very muscle you need to stay strong and mobile as you age.
And that's exactly why we wanted to do this episode. A lot of our listeners are either on one of these medications right now or seriously considering it, or their spouses. It's everywhere. And the conversation has finally moved past how fast can I lose the weight to a much smarter question. How do I lose the fat and keep my muscle? That's the whole game, especially for us over 40.
Let's talk about why that matters so much more after 40. If you're 25 and you lose a little muscle during a diet, you bounce back without even trying. But by our 40s, we're already fighting something called sarcopenia. That's just the medical term for the natural, age-related loss of muscle mass and strength that happens as we get older.
Right. It's not dramatic day to day, but it adds up every decade if we don't actively work to keep it. So now picture stacking rapid weight loss on top of that. You've got the slow leak of aging, and then you add a powerful appetite-suppressing medication that makes you eat a lot less. If you're not careful, you're pulling muscle off at both ends. And muscle isn't just about looking toned. Muscle is your metabolism. It's your balance. It's whether you can carry groceries up the stairs at 70, whether you can catch yourself if you trip. Losing it isn't cosmetic. It's functional.
The good news is, this is a very solvable problem. Researchers have landed on a few pillars for protecting your muscle while you lose weight, and none of them are complicated.
Pillar number 1, and this is the big one, protein.
Protein. The research points to somewhere north of 1.2 grams per kilogram of body weight per day. And I know grams per kilogram makes eyes glaze over, so here's the simpler version. Most adults over 40 who are losing weight should be aiming higher than they think, often around 100 grams a day or more spread out.
And that spread out part is doing a lot of work. I used to have basically no protein at breakfast, a sad little salad for lunch, and then a giant steak at dinner.
That's the classic pattern, and it's exactly what the research says to fix. One study found that restructuring to something like 30 grams at breakfast, 30 at lunch, and 30 at dinner improved outcomes, even when the total wasn't.
Quick reminder that today's episode is brought to you by GetSkinnyOnline.com, your source of medically guided GLP-1 weight loss services online. You'll find popular peptides like semaglutide and tirzepatide in injectable, liquid, and pill forms to make your weight loss journey easy. Go to GetSkinnyOnline.com or check the show notes for the link. Now, back to the show.
Higher. Your body can only use so much protein at once, so spreading it out means more of it actually gets used.
Which is tricky on a GLP-1 because these medications kill your appetite. That's the point. So people eat less overall, and protein is often the first thing that drops because it's filling and takes effort.
So the practical move is make protein the priority at every meal. Eggs or Greek yogurt at breakfast instead of just toast and coffee. That one swap changes the whole day.
Okay, pillar 2, and honestly, this might be the most important one.
Resistance training, lifting weights. And I don't mean becoming a bodybuilder. I mean giving your muscles a reason to stick around.
Here's the stat that sold me. A big review found that people who did resistance training 2 to 3 times a week while losing weight on these medications cut their muscle loss by 30 to 50% compared to people who didn't lift at all.
Cut it in half, just by picking up some weights a couple times a week.
Because your body reads it as a signal. When you challenge a muscle, you're telling your body, hey, I still need this, don't get rid of it. Without that signal, during rapid weight loss, muscle is the first thing on the chopping block.
And this doesn't have to be intimidating. If you've been off exercise for 10 or 15 years, we're not talking about a barbell on day 1. We're talking bodyweight squats, standing up from a chair, push-ups against the kitchen counter, resistance bands. 2 sessions a week, that's the entry point.
Let's bust a couple of myths while we're here.
Myth number 1. As long as the scale is going down, I'm winning.
And that's the trap. The scale can't tell the difference between a pound of fat and a pound of muscle. You can be losing weight and getting weaker at the same time, and the scale applauds you the whole way down. That's why what your weight is made of matters more than the number itself.
Myth number 2. Muscle loss on these drugs is just unavoidable, so why fight it?
This one's important. The experts are honest that you can't eliminate muscle loss entirely when you're losing a lot of weight. That's just biology. But the goal isn't zero. It's to make sure the weight you lose is overwhelmingly fat, not muscle. There was even a small 2025 study where people actually gained lean tissue while losing a huge amount of weight because they trained and ate enough protein. So it's not accept the muscle loss, it's minimize it and tilt the scale toward fat.
Now, a few important cautions. If you're on one of these medications, this is a conversation to have with your prescriber. The rate you increase your dose actually affects how much muscle you lose. Faster isn't always better. A steadier pace gives these muscle-protecting habits time to work.
And that's where a medically guided approach shines, which is a good moment to mention our sponsor, Get Skinny Online. They're a telehealth provider offering medically guided weight loss, so you're not just handed a medication and left to figure out the muscle side on your own. You can learn more at getskinnyonline.com.
And I want to be really clear about something. This episode is educational. It's not medical advice. We're not telling anyone what dose to take or whether to start a medication. Please talk to your doctor before making any big change to your diet, your exercise, or your medications, especially if you've got other health conditions going on.
So, let's bring it home. 3 key takeaways.
1. On these medications, a big share of the weight lost can be muscle, and after 40, that matters more because we're already fighting age-related loss.
2. Protein is your protector. Aim higher than you think and spread it across all 3 meals instead of loading it all at dinner.
3. Resistance training 2 to 3 times a week can cut muscle loss dramatically. You don't need a gym, just a couple sessions and some consistency.
And your one action step for this week? Just add a real serving of protein to your breakfast. That's it. Swap the toast and coffee for eggs, Greek yogurt, a protein shake, something with 30 grams. One meal. Start there.
If this helped you, or if you know someone on one of these medications who has no idea about the muscle piece, share this episode with them. It might change how they approach the whole thing.
And we'd love to hear from you. Are you on a GLP-1 or thinking about it? Drop a comment and tell us what's working and what you're struggling with. And if you're finding this show useful, subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next.
Take care of that muscle. It's the one thing you really don't want to lose on the way to your goal. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening. Today's episode was brought to you by GetSkinnyOnline.com, your source for medically guided GLP-1 weight loss services. They have popular peptides like semaglutide and tirzepatide in injectable, liquid, and pill forms to make your weight loss journey easy. Go to GetSkinnyOnline.com or check the show notes for the link. See you next time.